Guys of Reddit, what is the biggest turnoff in a girl's personality? Saying the opposite of what they want or expect to test you. Not telling me what's wrong. Being obsessed with their social media presence. It's usually a good indicator of lots of other qualities I'd avoid. Major jealousy. A little bit is expected. But I had a girlfriend once who tried to attack one of my friends because she was a female friend. Like, what the hell? I'm to the point now where the second I see chase me behavior, I'm out. I have no fucking patience for it, and I have enough experience to know that I'm probably not going to enjoy myself if I do give it a shot. A liar. Not initiating any conversation at all. Having no empathy for others. Or, on the opposite side, a person with a lot of empathy for their fellow humans and also animals has got a big plus in my book. Assuming that any guy making conversation with her is attempting to flirt and treating him condescendingly as a result. Meanness. Sweet girls who are genuinely sweet are very sexy. Happy and sweet. 3 words, social media influencer. When they give boyfriend specifications. Someone who is mean. Like, have a mean disposition for no reason. No one likes people who are mean without cause. The guy pays for everything mentality, run away. Far. I don't have an issue with what these guys do, but for me it's being a nasty, mean person. A bitch. Personally, I would say being constantly and unreasonably upset at minor things. I have been with a girl who would lose her mind over stuff like a good night text sent 10 minutes after the usual time, messages unanswered for a while because I was busy, playfully poking fun at her that gets misinterpreted, not noticing if she was sad fast enough, and plenty of other things. Had to constantly be aware of what I was saying and doing in order for her to not get upset. Jesus, I had to put an alarm on my phone to precisely remember to send goodnight texts. Granted, I don't like my messages being unanswered either, but I don't throw tantrums for it. Frankly, if I have to deal with you instead of being with you, the relationship isn't worth it, at least for me. Not being able to hold a conversation. I don't care if you're drop dead gorgeous, if I have to do all the work in a convo. That shit is such a massive turn off that I stop giving a shit about your looks. Materialism. If you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. Someone I know was recently affected by this. Girls that pour boiling water on your face while you're asleep. Girls trying to get a guy's affection/attention by flirting with other guys. Inspiring jealousy is a horrible race to the bottom that both men and women practice. If you're into someone, just approach them. Don't play games. No matter how it plays out, the best case scenario is at least one person is hurt. Lack of trust. Denying they did anything wrong despite fucking everything up. I once dated a girl who, at least once a day, had a story about how X person was coming onto her, or she got catcalled at the store, or her manager tried to flirt with her, etc. At first I believed her, didn't have a reason not to. But after a while it just became so obviously a lie that it made her seem pretty pathetic tbh. There was a bunch of other stuff she lied about too, serious stuff that was kind of fucked up. Another girl I dated was really good at guilt trips. She'd do everything she could to make me feel awful for not buying her that stuffed animal that I knew was just gonna go in the closet later, or for hanging out with my friends instead of her even though I told her about the plans a month and in advance, etc. Current GF is super awesome though. I keep having to remind myself she isn't like the others. I still get anxious when she sees something and says oh that's cute, or something similar because I got so used to being guilt-tripped into buying my ex anything she wanted. I'm not like other girls. People who cling to a subcultural identity. I'm specifically talking about the country girl one cause that's what I grew up surrounded by, the girls who wanted to be exactly like the women in country songs. As I grew up and went to college, I got to see a lot more subcultures, goths, metalheads, hipsters, etc. And while plenty of those people are awesome, it's the ones that cling so hard to their subculture as an identity that give me pause. It's insecurity I guess, on their part. Which I do understand, but like, I don't know, when you're so obsessive you make something your whole personality, that gives me pause. Also, horse girls. And I don't mean girls who have horses. My sisters and I have a couple horses, or rather, my parents have horses that they say are ours LOL, but they aren't horse girls. Horse girls are an experience. Neediness for trivial people's admiration. i.e. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Jealousy. Current GF refuses to speak to any of my friends from school or other places who are female. Even after I became good friends with one of her best friends, she got jealous and has since stopped talking completely to this friend. Liking me, I can't trust her judgment. Princess mentality. They expect to be held up on a pedestal with the man constantly showering her with praise, gifts, and attention while doing very little or nothing in return. Attention-seeking behavior. Him, I'm going shopping, do you want anything? Her, no. Don't get me anything. Him comes back. Her, why didn't you get a gift for me? It has to be materialism. There are so many things to appreciate in life, but disproportionately valuing high-quality things is just a ton of red flags emo. And let me clarify, I don't just mean I like to buy lots of stuff. I mean, ascribing value to another human based upon their material things. And viewing your own self through the lens of the quality of items you have. The amount of things to unpack there is just too monumental to even attempt. Being into zodiac signs, not being capable of critical thinking. Excessive anger. Like, don't get me wrong now, I certainly think a girl is fine to stand up for herself and not take shit from nobody, but I can't stand women who are constantly just bitching and airing their dirty laundry on social media or shit-talking their exes. Rudeness. Playful banter and mock insults we can both laugh at are one thing, but if you're constantly be short with me, it's an issue. Smoking. I'm surprised nobody has said being needy. As soon as I discover a woman isn't emotionally stable on her own, her attractiveness goes down tenfold. Narcissism. I'm so exhausted by it that I'm not even attracted to women higher than a 7 anymore. Don't fucking stare at anyone 24/7 and don't try to touch anyone in a creepy way thinking you'll be excused if you are a girl. Smiley face. Entitlement and insecurity. When they are proud to be a bitch. If she doesn't fuck with water. I was at a grocery store with a girl I thought I liked, but when I asked her BBN if she wanted anything to drink she said no. I asked her if she at least wanted water, I haven't seen her hydrate in a while or at all the afternoon we were hanging out. She said no, I don't fuck with water. I thought she may have just been kidding, but I pressed further on and she really didn't like drinking water. Among other things, I stopped fucking with her. Obsession with social media. If a girl is Snapchatting our entire time together, it's going to be a no from me. Girls who brag. I just can't stand it. I broke up with a girl once over it. I didn't tell her that was why, but it was. She would brag about her dad's money, how guys always come onto her, how smart her dog was, how she was elected president of her sorority. I mean, she mentioned this all the time, the type of coffee she bought, etc. etc. Narcissism. Not having any opinions on complex topics like politics or art. I just can't stand those girls who go, I don't care, I just wanna be happy, face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy. TLDR. Same things women find unattractive. Constantly needing validation. Maybe I've just had bad luck, but 3 times in a row I've dated women who constantly berated themselves. Sometimes it's fishing for compliments, but most of the time it's just that they straight up have no self-esteem. On one hand, I want to be their support, but it's so exhausting and frankly makes me feel like shit, so then my confidence goes down. 1. Being unkind. 2. Being a princess. 3. Acting like being female is a pass from taking the trash or recycling out, or not cleaning something disgusting. Being indecisive. I get it, I am too sometimes, but some things need a definite answer. This is probably an unpopular opinion, the whole culture around being obsessed with dogs. Constant bickering. The unflattering combination of vapid and self-absorbed. Think going on vacation all excited you'll have pictures to take of yourself for social media. Not having read a book since graduating uni. Having no clue what's going on in news unrelated to Hollywood. Not having basic life skills. Not having even a drop of genuine interest or curiosity outside your single hobby you don't really engage in but mostly keep as an accessory to convince others you're interesting. Basically, the associated behaviors of being a bubble person. Someone who doesn't read the news, and doesn't read for fun. Someone who doesn't understand why people pursue things beyond the 2 single things they like, food and travel, but also spends a huge amount of time watching crap television. Someone who spends most of their time in an exciting new place trying to find the best places to take pictures of themselves. Someone who thinks there is a right answer for everything. Someone who thinks there isn't a right answer for anything. Someone who went to college because they felt society wanted them to but resented the lectures and the work, and never made an effort to explore or get anything out of it. Somebody who can't have a serious conversation because they've never even attempted to confront their own existential questions. Someone who will avoid confrontation at any cost, but talk about a person they disagree with behind their back. Someone who thinks they lack vices. Someone who defines themselves by their vices. Someone who you don't need to actually have a conversation with because day-to-day conversation results in canned answers and anything novel causes them to shut down or shut out. This person is someone who has drawn a circle between themselves and the world which they will not leave, and they will either become hostile or try to ignore it on those occasions when the world inevitably barges in. And they feel this is precisely how they want their life: safe, comfortable, small, and under their control. The fear which ultimately drives this pattern is understandable, but life is none of these things. If this is the gestalt I'm getting from someone, there will not be emotional interest. Horses. Okay, this is my personal opinion, okay. So please don't bombard me with downvotes. I find smoking, vaping, and doing drugs of any kind, except for medical reasons of course, to be unattractive. I also find tattoos really ugly. That's just my opinion. I'm not saying you're a bad person if you do this, I'm just saying I find it unattractive, which is my personal opinion, meaning that it's okay if you disagree. Chicks that have the sole ambition is to be a mom. I'm a girl, but I've been reading through the comments and all these things are a major turnoff for girls too. I guess we all just want nice, decent, funny, and chill people. For me it's about negativity. I can always find the positive in any situation. That is not what I require in a so, but when the majority of things are negative or depressing and that is the go-to state of being, I have to move on. Just being too needy. Being messy. Seriously. What is so hard about picking up after yourself? Bimboification. If you're bottle blonde, smother in fake tan, generally being a trendy girl, off you can fuck. Women who slum it at home, comfy pants on, letting out a massive burp and laughing because fucking hell, I don't know what end that came from, is gonna be hysterically funny to me. I'd rather take a gross girl instead of a oh my god, bae. So, like, pretty and buff, girl. Same plethora of terrible traits that would make me dislike a guy. Being high maintenance and extremely superficial. Lady, I grew up in the country and literally shoveled shit as a job for a while. If you can't handle your makeup being not quite perfect after an hour in front of the mirror, you can just fuck all the way off. Reading way too far into things. The majority of men, myself included, are fairly simple creatures, and when we say something, there is usually no hidden meaning behind it. A good analogy for this is, just read the book, don't put your head through it. Well, if you don't know why I'm upset, then I sure as hell aren't going to tell you. What about women who are sexist and think that men can't like/do/say/feel certain things? Like men can't cry or feel depressed, etc. Or that it's the man's job to work or support a family/household. Personally, I think men have just as much emotions as us women, and have every right to express them as they see fit. Everyone feels things differently, gender doesn't have a thing to do with it. I also feel that women are just as responsible for supporting a family or household or relationship. It's two people in a relationship, you have to treat it as such and both do 50/50ths. Women who also tend to be jealous and manipulative, but when it's switched on them act like it's so bad. Like a guy can go to parties, hang out with his friends, go and do whatever he wants. As long as you trust him, nothing else matters. Other people can't infiltrate a strong, healthy, trusting, loving relationship if both/all parties are committed to each other. If not, dust it off and walk. Life's too short to spend it on people you can't or don't trust fully. Period. If you can't handle that, you need to evaluate yourself. Because you're a great person with so much to offer, but everyone has their flaws and weak points. Just keep working on them and growing. I think a lot of women forget that when we wanted gender equality, it meant we're all treated equally in every aspect of our lives, not just in the workplace and general household responsibilities. But that's just my opinion, not at all the best, I'm sure, but I try to remain open-minded and see things from all sides. A narcissist woman. A woman who always has to be right is manipulative and prides herself on playing guys. A woman who is mentally ill and starts scenes in public. A woman who always has an excuse, is lazy, expects everything from you. Doesn't work. Anytime you try to criticize her behavior, she gets abusive, cuts you off, gaslights. Stop being so basic. A lot of girls I know are terrified of being different. And even the girls whose whole shtick it is to be not your average girl, they're only like one place removed from the average girl. Basically saying that they're better than water, because they're LaCroix. You need to remember, this sort of thing sticks out like a sore thumb to men, because we see it in almost every girl we interact with. We know the beats you're using, we've heard it all before. When every girl is a different shade of gray, the selection process is boiled to which selection of gray is the hottest, and that ain't no way to have a relationship. Just be yourself, dude. Stop aimlessly and detrimentally changing yourself to fit in with every other girl around you. There is nothing worse than having a selection of shades of gray to try and court and then eventually attempt dedicate your life to. Any guy will get with a girl that has a heartbeat most of the time, so you don't have to invest all your energy into looking hot. If you're cool, the guy will like you for who you are, and then even if you have a car crash into a truck full of acid, he will still think you're hot. And if it makes you feel any better, the girls who are genuinely just being themselves with a flippant disregard for social girl norms, and are nice and approachable, myself and others are almost always visibly enamored with that whole personality, you won't have any trouble. It's such a breath of fresh air to meet someone you're attracted to who isn't basic AF. Airheadedness. Seriously, don't act dumb or clueless. I do not want to do everything for you. I'm looking for a partner in crime, not a damsel in distress. To sit and analyze why we fucked after we just did. We fucked. You liked it? What the fuck are you acting like the Virgin Mary for? You ever see those girls always putting videos of themselves on their Snapchat stories where they're just holding the camera at arm length and just tilting their head or the camera in different directions, not saying anything, just basically admiring themselves? I find that repulsive and an indicator they're probably a narcissist. Playing games / complaining about everything. Not biggest but still, holding grudges. I'm pretty easygoing even when things don't go my way or I'm wronged. I either forget it or avoid that person going forwards. Hanging out with a friend, hearing her complain about the same roommate in detail was not endearing. Honestly, I don't care anymore, I'm just desperate. Being super loud so everyone can hear you. Attention seeking. This was with an ex-GF. I had started my new job and was on the road a lot, and every time she would hear my colleagues in the background it would be, "Oh, are you out with them?" And I would reply to her question and move on to what we did for the day and blah blah. But she kept coming back to, "Where are you staying? How many guys are there? Anyone cute hot in the group? If you had to sleep with one of them, who will it be?" It caused a lot of fights cause I'm not a slut, and if you do not trust me to be in a work trip and do my job, then why are you in a relationship with me? And it just pissed me off. I ignored it for a bit, but by the third rotation and 100th fight I had enough. She knew I was about to call it quits and sprung a "we should get a pet together so you have another reason to come home." That's when I lost it. If I ain't coming home for you, I ain't coming home for a damn pet I own with you. Pack your things and be out of my place by the time I return. We are done. If I ask you what you want and your response isn't clear, we're doing what I want and you're shutting up about it. None of this vague "I don't know" followed by you saying no to every suggestion I make for the next 4 hours. Life is too goddamn short to turn dinner/other activity into a guessing game, and nothing makes my dick retreat into my pelvis like someone who's indecisive and picky. You don't get to be both. This one isn't just for women. I'm bi. Dudes do this too, and regardless of gender, it's endlessly frustrating and a huge turn off for me. Trying too hard to be one of the guys. We like girls who like girly things. But do feel free to fart. Better out than in. It's gross when you don't clean your butt. All I can smell is shit when taking you doggy style. Just being a valley girl in general. Being two-faced. A guy will normally tell it like it is. Girls be like, "Oh hey beautiful," next second fucking bitch looks fat. Narcissism and ego exacerbated by social media. When you call it and they use the self-love as a defense mechanism to hide. You can love yourself and be positive without putting other people down. General bitchiness, for want of a better term. Think like Cardi B. Sometimes, when a girl likes you and doesn't know how to express it, her strategy is to be mean as fuck. Like she will just contradict everything you say, call you out on little things in front of people, get a general sense of your insecurity and just need a little relentlessly. Then her friends will say, "Oh, she has a huge crush on you." And you will think, "I will stab her if she doesn't stop speaking to me." Entitlement. A bitch. Shallowness. Drama. Entitlement and ignorance. Not just for girls, for anyone. Attention-seeking and overvaluing looks as if it's a feature that actually matters. Girls who are full of shit or bad liars turtle my birdie. Those petty tests to see if you're worthy of trust, especially when they have no reason to distrust someone. Being Princess Y. When they change their entire personality when a certain person walks in the room. Hates kids is a big no-no for me. Armpit hair. Whoops, you said personality. I hate when she discovers an imperfection and is visibly turned off. Her being the one to ask me out and initiating the relationship, then when we're dating having to hear her constantly talking about her exes, having to pretend we're not dating to hide it from co-workers, her idea, being told all my hobbies and music I like are garbage, and spreading rumors about me to everyone after I attempted suicide. All of this within a few days of us getting together. Pretty much ruined dating for me, and I'm still struggling with depression because of it. Realize now that she's probably a sociopath that enjoys conflict and drama. All I wanted was a nice relationship with someone that cared about me.